Unified Championship Radio.
We are on the road to WrestleMania, officially on the road to WrestleMania as the Royal Rumble wrapped up last night. We have a new undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. His name, and like I said last week, like I predicted, as Keith Logan smirks just a little tiny bit, the game. Triple H is world heavyweight champion for the 14th time. I am Anthony the Ant-Man alongside Keith Logan the Loganator. What did you think of the Royal Rumble last night, my friend?
What did I think of the Royal Rumble? Well,
It's taking a little too long.
I did like that AJ Styles debuted. I got a little excited on that one.
Finally, the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, debuted, and he had a pretty good showing in the Royal Rumble, lasting about 30 minutes or so.
But as soon as Roman Reigns got thrown out and then the League of Nations started beating on him, I was like, here we go. And you couldn't even see what was going on in the ring half the time. I know we talked about this before the show started, but they were more interested on him getting through a table, and I think 3 or 2 guys got eliminated after the Rumble, and they didn't even, the commentators didn't even say anything. I said, oh, well, by the way, so-and-so got eliminated. Let's show you the replay on that one. And Kofi Kingston, and he got kicked in the head. I don't remember who eliminated him, but I was kind of like, all right.
Yeah, we've done our fair share of complaining about the way WWE does some of their things, but I got to tell you, I thought that was a pretty good pay-per-view, especially since going onto the WWE Network, we haven't had those top pay-per-views except for the WrestleManias.
Yeah.
But this Royal Rumble I thought was very well. The one criticism and complaint that I'll have, and this is the only one, is that the cameramen and the angles were terrible last night. I mean, we have Roman Reigns in the ring. Number 3's coming out. I don't know if they were trying to do some surprise factor, some wow factor, but we didn't even see the Titantron to see AJ Styles. All we heard was, I kind of knew it was him because of the music and the way the fans reacted. And, of course, we didn't know that was no superstar else it could have been.
Yeah.
But, can you get off of Roman Reigns?
They're showing him look all confused.
Yeah.
Like, oh, who is this? What's going on here?
To the fact where we didn't even see the Titantron go, I am phenomenal. We didn't get to see that.
And he was, the only surprise. There really wasn't any other, shockers. They had what?
Triple H wasn't a shocker to us, but, I'm pretty sure to others it was a shock that Triple H was in it.
I think
Sami Zayn was a nice one.
I think my top 3 of the night for the top pops were definitely AJ Styles, Sami Zayn got a decent pop, and then, of course, Triple H at the end. Everybody went crazy. Actually, 4. And then the 4th would be when Roman Reigns got eliminated. The whole crowd went nuts when that happened. They were cheering because they knew now somebody else was going to be crowned as a champion.
Yeah, so let's start right off with it. Let's start off with the Royal Rumble match itself. No Orton, no Daniel Bryan.
Nope.
No Rock, no any other really huge surprises to come into the match. I was okay with. I was fine with that. If you're not going to bring Daniel Bryan in to win it, then don't bring him in. Mm-hmm. So I was okay with that. We started off Roman Reigns, as we know, was the number 1 entrant. Pretty surprised Rusev went number 2, and he was in and out
like that
with a snap.
Ever since we said before, ever since he got buried by John Cena, he's kind of just coasting along in the WWE.
Yep, and I think the only reason they put him at number 2 was just to see Lana for a few seconds. Bring Lana out, that's it. Okay, Rusev, see you later.
Then we saw him towards the end of the night as well when he came back out with League of Nations and as they
You know how some Royal Rumbles start where you have the one big power guy in there to start off, and then he just starts tossing and chucking people to start, and then they get into it. Right at number 3, they got into it as AJ Styles made his debut. He got a huge pop. Almost thought Roman Reigns was going to throw him out for a second there, and I was like, you're not going to do this, right? I was like, you're not going to mess this one up. But AJ Styles lasted a good 30 minutes. I think Tyler Breeze came in and got chucked off right away. Then, Chris Jericho comes in, and then that's where it starts. That's where the ring starts filling up with superstars.
The one thing, though, that kind of makes me laugh is when you have a decent amount of guys in the ring, and then all of a sudden just the 2 of them are going at it, and the other guys are just lying on the ground in the corner, just like staring. I saw a few times just Jericho just like lying near the turnbuckle, just kind of looking like, oh, what's going on here? Like, oh, let me forget I'm hurt, so let me try and get the lie there for an extra 3 minutes. And Dean Ambrose was doing the same thing too. I was just watching him. I was like,
Dean Ambrose did get messed up for the entire earlier on, and he lasted a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jericho comes in, and then the ring starts filling up with superstars. We start getting some of the Wyatt family in there. We start getting some of... Actually, I was pretty surprised that Curtis Axel was the only social outcast entered into the Royal Rumble.
I thought at least Adam Rose would be in, or Heath Slater.
But I couldn't complain. I was entertained throughout the entire Royal Rumble. Then... the guys are in the ring, and then you see Vince McMahon bring out the rest of the League of Nations, and like you said before, they attack Roman Reigns outside the ring. They beat him up. They put him through a table. Rusev puts him through a table. I guess that's his big moment of the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And then what I see is Roman Reigns, they come to cart Roman Reigns out. This is something that made no sense to me. They come to cart Roman Reigns out of the Royal Rumble, and at that point I said he's going to come back at the end and he's going to win it. Then he gets off the cart, and instead of going back into the ring, he walks out by himself, which did no help to him because he gets a rest. And I'm like, if he's defending this title, he has to be in the ring at the whole time.
It reminded me of a page out of the Attitude Era when Mick Foley went through the Hell in a Cell, and then all of a sudden they start taking him back with their stretcher. And then
he comes back, and he gained fans for doing that.
I know, but then,
this helped Roman Reigns. No. Nothing. Mm-hmm. Nothing helped Roman Reigns.
But he lost, so I'm happy.
He loses. Then you had your Kofi Kingston moment where he gets thrown out, but he's on top of Big E's shoulders. But the thing is, I'm searching for these guys, and they're nowhere to be found. I'm like, where is Kofi Kingston?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get to see him thrown out, and it's because they focus so much on Roman Reigns being out of the ring that we missed that whole sequence, and I thought that would have been a pretty good sequence to catch. I'm like, man, what if someone trips Big E or something and he gets thrown out? But you didn't even see that.
No. You're all on Roman Reigns. And I was even thinking that also when I was watching it. I was like, can we see the actual Royal Rumble and not what's going on outside of the ring?
Yeah, and then they do small camera angles on the side here and on the side. You can't, when you have so many guys in the ring at once, you kind of have to keep it where you see the entire ring.
Like the main shot, how they have it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not like, let's get to the turnbuckle. Oh, let's go to the outside. Oh, let's go back to Roman Reigns. Oh, let's go over here.
Yep.
Oh, Vince McMahon's laughing hysterically. Let's close in on him. No, it doesn't work that way.
No, it's that also surprising that no one else from New Day was in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that kind of shocked me as well. One thing that did shock me was Kane can't really fit into his tights anymore, if you notice. Kane has a little belly on him when he came back.
Kane and Big Show are towards the end of their career. They got tossed out by...
Big Show is getting a little gray in the beard as well. I noticed that.
Braun Strowman made quick work of them.
And then the one thing that confused me was you had Brock Lesnar. He was dominating. And then most of the Wyatt family was eliminated. But then they came back in and started doing the beatdown on him and threw him out. And then you just see him kind of glare and walk away. because they kept pushing it. The commentators, oh, this is no disqualification. Anything goes. Anything goes.
Which is true.
Why didn't Brock Lesnar go back in and start F5ing and suplexing everybody out of the ring and just for that?
Saving it for a bigger time.
Just for the hell of it, because he got eliminated.
Saving it for a bigger time.
It was kind of like you had this big explosion, and then it just kind of fizzled. It was like, and then he just walks out with Paul Heyman and does absolutely nothing.
I know you were disappointed because you are a huge Brock Lesnar fan.
That I am.
So, yeah, that was a little... I mean, I guess it doesn't really hurt Brock Lesnar, though, because no one would have been able to toss him out. So,
no.
Why not have a schmaz of a ending for Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble?
One big thing, though, that I did also like was when Triple H was looking at Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, there were definitely
off.
some stare-offs and sequences in the Royal Rumble that I was like, yes. As soon as Kevin Owens comes in the ring, him and AJ Styles go at it. Mm-hmm. And I posted a video on our Facebook of a match that they had for House of Hardcore. Mm-hmm. Check that out if you have a chance. Go on our Facebook, facebook.com/UCR Network, as well as our Twitter at UCR Network, because that's where you can find all of our wrestling videos and our podcasts. So check that out. But yeah, man, they went at it, and then Sami Zayn comes out, and he gets a big applause, and he tosses Kevin Owens.
Yeah, and it was funny because Kevin Owens looked so pissed, and he looked so upset when Sami Zayn's music hit and he came down to the ring.
Yeah, because they had a huge feud in NXT, and they go back a long way. So it was nice to see them, and then, like you said, the stare down between Bray Wyatt and Triple H, and even the fans. You kind of sometimes... This is not sports, like, where we have, fans clamor for something, and you just put money into it. You put money into it, and you either do it or you don't do it. Mm-hmm. Like getting a player. That's not what, wrestling's not like that. You kind of really have to listen to where the fans are going. Mm-hmm. And you see them stare at each other, and the fans are like, oh, is something going to happen here? Mm-hmm. And, I mean, they started fighting, but then... They kind of really tossed Bray Wyatt out real quick. I was surprised with that.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed with that because the way the past couple of weeks have been building up, with how he when he appeared with the whole family, when Roman Reigns was in the ring on Raw, and then when Vince McMahon told everybody to go get him, and they just kind of stood back and just sat there and let the buzzard, so to speak, do the pickings, and it was just a little upsetting. But maybe with this standoff, maybe this will push his stock a little higher. I don't know. Maybe put him in the main event.
I mean, they did this around 2007 when they had Shawn Michaels and Undertaker fight each other in the Rumble and stare off. And, I guess it got a good pop, whereas in the next year, they followed it up with the match at WrestleMania, and then again the following year with another match. So maybe that they're doing something like that. But, I mean, if you're going to toss out Bray Wyatt that quickly, then you might as well have Brock Lesnar do it and then have them fight to the back.
Yep.
Because if you're building this Wyatt's versus Brock Lesnar thing, you might as well have had them brawl all the way to the back. Mm-hmm. It would have made more sense than to have Bray Wyatt just get tossed the way he did. And for goodness sakes, at the next couple of Royal Rumbles... Can we have Sheamus going first? I'm sick and tired of Sheamus being one of the last guys in the Royal Rumble match. This has happened for the last 4 or 5 years. I'm tired of Sheamus.
Well, he's buddies with Triple H, so unfortunately, I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
He's always one of the last 4. You called it. Yeah. You called it.
I did.
Always one of the last 4 guys in the Royal Rumble.
And at least this time he didn't win or make it to the very end, because I think that would have been horrible if he was like the last 2 or so. But as soon as it was Triple H and Dean Ambrose, I was like, Triple H is going to win this.
Yeah, he was. I knew they were setting Triple H up. We knew weeks in advance. I said if Triple H does not show up on TV after he sustained that beating from Roman Reigns,
he's coming back.
That he would come back and win the Royal Rumble. And I was trying to figure out, man, Who are they going to have come out at 30